Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Tuesday Talks. Today I'm going to be talking about the subtle art of energetic detachment in business. This is a big one for me because I needed to learn how to actually detach from outcomes, from clients, from coaches and everything for my own benefit. So it's not, basically going, oh, I'm sort of done. It's not that. It's understanding that, say you're on a client call, you need to learn how to detach afterwards so that you have 100% of your own energy. Now, I'm going to be talking about three main things in this episode. So, letting go of tight timelines, showing up without needing a specific result, and trusting that your work has its own life. A life of its own life, what do you want to say? Now, let's look at the first one, letting go of tight timelines. For me, my career meant I needed tight timelines because I had so much I needed to do in that shift. Didn't matter where I worked, I needed to get things done. So I was really good at planning things out. Yet that doesn't always work in business. We can put these tight timelines in. It's a bit of a tongue twister. We can put these tight timelines in, yet it doesn't always benefit us because life happens. Now, for my career, I had to do those things. Didn't always work out, but the majority of the time it did. In business, it's different for me. Now, I might say, okay, I want to launch a product at such and such a time. It may not happen because things happen. I may not have the energy for it, or something else may happen. Maybe it's the wrong product. For me anyway, it might be right for somebody else, but for me to create, it might not be the right actual product. And when you're gripping so hard, things actually often slow down or even feel heavy because you're so gripped on so tight. You've got that control because you feel that you need to hold on to what you can control. And yes, you do, but you don't need to grip on so tight that you're actually, like you've just gripped on so tight. Relax a bit. Just relax. Because as I said, things happen in business. We don't know what's going to happen. So let go of a little control. And of course, letting go doesn't mean giving up. As I said, it means loosening that grip. Just loosen a little bit. Because you want to give your offers, ideas, and plans room to breathe. Now, of course, I worked in mainly emergency settings. I didn't have time to breathe. Yet in business, I have learnt how important it is for everything to breathe, including me. I need to breathe. I need to relax. When an idea comes in, I don't just run with it. I allow the idea to come in. I'll document it somewhere. And I go, okay, I'm just going to let all of that breathe and see what happens. And when I do that, amazing things happen. Doesn't mean the idea always comes, like I create it. I might keep it there for another time. Or I might realize that that idea that's come in isn't for me because it's taking me off my path. And showing up without needing a specific result. How often have you been told you've got to create content, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, because you've got to keep showing up? What if you just showed up for you? What if you just showed up for your business without any expectations, without anything at all? Because how many coaches and that out there go, you've got to look at the numbers, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. What if people are watching but not interacting? So showing up as you without wanting those numbers or anything like that is so much more powerful than as we've said before, controlling everything. Okay, I've got to show up. So that content didn't get anything. Well, I've got to throw that one out because it's no good. Now I've got to create more content. No, relax. Show up without needing a result. Because detachment allows you to notice what's actually working, not just what you planned. So create the beautiful content from an amazing place because you always want to create content, etc., from that beautiful, loving, whatever space is yours. You want to do that because the energy behind it is always going to be there, no matter how many times you repurpose it. It's always nice to just go back and go, okay, here's this beautiful content I've created. Let's put some more energy into it because it's really powerful to do things like that. Yet when you just detach and breathe, you're actually going to notice quicker what's working. And when it's not working, you're going to understand why. Because you've just sort of let go. Because you're not chasing results. You're building something real over time. Now, all of those businesses that you see that go, I made 50K in 3 days, or I did a launch and I got 100K. No, you don't know how long it's taken them to get there. You don't know how big their email list is. You don't know how big their social media is. I mean, you might if you go and look at them, but you don't know the work that they've put in to get to that stage. It is rare to have overnight successes, very rare. It's one of those 1 in 20 billion trillion. It's so rare. So don't chase the results. And you want to trust that your work does have a life of its own. If you've been following me for a while, you know I talk about everything having energy. Business is separate to you. I had to learn that a few years ago. I didn't know that my business was separate to me. And that's why all of this has come about. Because I learned and I realized how powerful it is to be in a relationship with your business, knowing it's separate. You gave birth to it. You cut that cord and you're letting it grow with you. Because not everything needs to be pushed. Some things unfold in their own time. Now, I've been talking about a membership for a long time. Still not time for it. It will happen. Because it needs to come. All these more ideas need to come. And it's really powerful. And as I said, your business has its own energy. It will speak. Are you going to listen? And be available. Not 24/7. Remember, you have a life. Your business has a life. You don't want to be there for your business 24/7. You need that time to rest. Because you don't want to be obsessed about everything. Has it ever happened to you? You've become so obsessed about something that things can be forgotten. Because when you let go and you're available but not obsessed, that is where ease often lives. That's been this week's episode. So we talked about energetic detachment in business. We talked about letting go of tight timelines, showing up without needing a specific result, and that's powerful, and trusting that your work has a life of its own. Thank you so much for watching and listening.